Yes, I'm Jason Koo, first year MBA student from Korea. Thank you for having such a great time. And as you mentioned, India is struggling with the lots of domestic healthcare problems, such as malnutrition, HIV, tuberculosis, etc. And that means there are many Indians who are not covered by westernized medicine, and that means India is suffering from the lack of the doctors and nurses and any kind of medical resources. But on the other hand, surprisingly, India has world-class hospitals, such as Apollo hospitals, and India is one of the famous place for medical tourism. So lots of Americans and Europeans are traveling to India to get the affordable and the high-quality medical services. So my first question is what is the government long-term plan of medical tourism? And my second question is that I wonder if there is some concern among people that this kind of the system would worsen the distribution problems of Indian healthcare. I mean, the high quality of medical resources are used for foreigners, not Indians. So I think there would be lots of concern among people.
At the moment, there is not concern about who's using the facility, whether the foreigners are using or Indians are using. The fact is only those people who can afford are using. And I can tell you, as far as Indian cities are concerned, I mean, there are so many rich people that they would go to America to get themselves treated. So the population is not much concerned about that kind of thing. Yes, medical tourism has a huge prospect in India. And problem here, which I again mentioned in the beginning, that private Medicare organization or the companies need to go to the villages. And I was talking to Dr. Pratap Reddy, who has promoted this Apollo. I said that you have a choice, whether you want to go to the rural area or the villagers will come to your hospital and they will demand treatment and they will say, we have no money to pay, but you have to treat us. And that can well happen, because you can't have two Indias, one living in the cities and having the best of it and other is neglected. So even from the social point of view, we just cannot and we should not discriminate. And I personally feel at my level that there is a huge discrimination, if I may say so. And this will not, in this world today of information technology, I don't think so this model can continue for a long time. And that is where Mr. Reddy, Dr. Reddy readily agreed. And they are looking at the villages. They are looking at how to get the healthcare at the local village level. My program is, in India we have ward system, that each and every cluster of village has a ward. So to begin with, I want healthcare to go, each and every ward should have healthcare center. And I personally feel we can easily fix it. All we require is the attitude and a total package. Not only, again I repeat, if I have to really spend, I would spend 30% of the GDP only on water management. If you see India's problem, whether it is drought, whether it is flood, waterborne diseases, it's all starting and ending with water. Even malaria is what? It's water. Dengue. Because ultimately sanitation, water, everything is interrelated. So I would spend all I can only on water. India is a country still largely dependent on agriculture. And if we have flood and if we have drought, again it is water management and nothing else. So we need to have a great irrigation system. So there are a lot of issues involved centering around water. So to answer your question, that yes, there is a concern by the government, and we are addressing the problem by educating the private sector. Because in a democracy, the force doesn't work, and you cannot enforce that you need to go there itself. But yes, when we give land to private sector for hospitals like Apollo, they have to give an undertaking that they are going to treat X percentage of poor people free. I'm not sure whether that's happening, and that definitely is an issue. Not on healthcare. I expect some question other than health.
Okay, I'll give you one. So at Wharton, we talk a lot about leadership style, leadership moments. Can you tell us about what your leadership style, or what you look at when we have 500 million people in a country of over 1 billion? That's not where we want to be. Yet we have the top 5, I think, in the list now that are billionaires, and everybody rushing to India to serve the top 100 million people and make tons of money. So what leadership style or leadership issues, challenges do you and the rest of your colleagues deal with to deal with this?
See, everything begins with how sensitive one is, rather than talking about models. When I contested election from a place called Barrackpur in Bengal, and we usually on an average have 1.5 million voters. It's huge, 1.5 million people. It is just the voters. I'm not talking about the total population of that constituency. And when I go to the villages, it makes you very sad that in this model era where right to life is there, you cannot have right to life in isolation unless and until you have right to health. Right to life is meaningless. So if you are sensitive about the issue, when you see a lady in the village comes and tells that you have stomach problem because she can't go for nature's crawl during daytime because there is not enough bathrooms available, that makes you very sad. But that's not enough for one to be sad. You have to be hands-on. And that is where I think today's leaders in India are very proactive. The very fact that I have come here to learn, the very fact that I am going to people to find solutions. Gone are the days where we could just sit back, relax in the office and just throw around our power. I think today we look at this as an opportunity given by the people to us for a period of 5 years, and this is where you need to have the change. And the change definitely is going to come, provided you are very sensitive about it. And if you are not sensitive about it, people will demand and make sure that if you do not fix their problem, you are going to get fixed yourself. Please.
In the spirit of asking something not related to healthcare.
You are the only one with a name tag there, is it yours?
Well, I decided since I forgot to introduce myself the first time. So, to what you can tell us about the recent problems with Naxalites, especially since it affects many of the regions close to what you represent, and what the Indian government is doing to address this issue.
First of all, we'll have to say that yes, it's a problem. Then we have to go to the root cause of the problem. And why is the problem? And I'm not on politics, but if in a particular regime, like I come from West Bengal, if you are trying to raise your voice against the government of the day, and the government of the day is not comfortable, and you are branded as an Naxalite, and how do you brand people like that? So while it's a problem which one has to deal with, to my mind it is more out of economy rather than anything else. And I think the time has come where you need to provide them justice. Not that I'm supporting